Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
All right, everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Frankly Francisco podcast. Today, my guest is Pete Romano. He is a business automation architect. Pete, introduce yourself to my audience. Please let me know and let the audience know who you are and what you do.
Hey, Francisco, it's really great to be here with you and all of your listeners. I'm looking forward to this conversation. You know that I love technology, but really at the heart of loving technology is almost like a sense of justice for the small business owners out there. This idea that if you're a small business owner, sometimes it's only just a little kernel of knowledge or a little turn of a phrase that's really going to click in your brain in order for you to change the entire direction of how you operate. And so deep in my heart is the mission of empowering small business owners to be the best that they can be.
And I love that. And the reason I love that is because I deal with small business clients on a daily basis. This is my job outside of podcasting, is dealing with small business clients. And you are correct. If we can make their life a bit easier on how they handle their day-to-day operations and their technology, man, it's a weight off their shoulders. Because let me tell you, I've heard and I've seen horror stories from some of these business clients, and if things can run smoother for them, it's always a plus.
Yeah, exactly. And so I got into working with them. I used to work in corporate. It sounds like that's your background as well. I was serving large Fortune 500 companies, and I got to work with the best of the best in advertising, in creative, in production. And I just recognized that I wanted to take this skill set that I developed and give it to people who are going to appreciate it more and who can just make a bigger difference in their life. And so I started down this path maybe when I was 30 years old, started my first creative agency, and I never looked back since.
Well, what was that spark for you? So you were in corporate America. So what was that spark that said, "Hey, I need to get out of what I'm doing and I need to create something that's going to benefit small businesses long term"? Where did that at what moment did you have that epiphany and go, "Oh man, I'm in the wrong business now. I have something that is in my head that I need to get out and share it with the world."
Well, I've always been really entrepreneurial in a sense. And so my background was in music production. I was a jingle producer. I was creating songs for Sudafed commercials and making radio spots for ExxonMobil. And that was a really great experience. But if any of your listeners out there are familiar with this book called The E Myth talks about when you have an entrepreneurial spasm. And so that happened to me at some point. I was probably um, mixing a radio spot in New York City somewhere on 42nd Street on the 13th floor of this building where I was an employee. And I think my buddy maybe just told me about this new camera that he bought because prosumer equipment was just really coming on the scene. A lot of your listeners will be familiar with the Canon 7D. It was the first cinematic camera that one could buy themselves, and we just got this idea, well, why don't we just go start shooting videos and commercials ourselves? And so this notion of just going out on your own just pops into your head, and then when it gets there, it's like a virus that just takes over, and you can't look back after that. And some people, it takes a number of years to really break free. Some people never break free. I was fortunate to be able to break free pretty quickly and just start going out on my own and finding clients and just pounding the pavement.
Yeah, and I admire that a lot because I'm one of those people who can't break free yet. I have wife, 5 kids, have mortgage, car pay. It's my passion is this, what I'm doing right now, talking to people like you who have a passion for a business, who have, art form, that want to get something out there. And I get what you're saying. I'm in that mode where I want to break free too, but for some, it's not as easy as it is for others. So I have to live vicariously through people like you for right now until I'm able to reach that goal. But that's a beautiful thing. You found what you were looking for and you've applied it in the real world. So tell me a little bit more about the business. Tell me what you provide, what service you provide for people and businesses.
Well, so if you like you said earlier, you deal with small business owners all the time, right? And they're probably always exhausted. They're probably the earliest risers and the latest to bed. And I'm a small business owner myself. In fact, after we're recording this, I don't know if we're able to give this away. We're recording this at 9 p.m. at night right now. And so you're on your second podcast, and I'm on my second meeting of the night. And after this, I'll be working meeting with my team in India to go over a bunch of different things that need to be set up for tomorrow. And so you hear that story all the time of these hardworking folks. And so there's a real place in my heart to try to help that. And I know that we can. And so at my company, Segwik, we developed a piece of software that is like a toolkit for every business. Every business needs their business toolkit. And if you open that lid and you look into that toolkit, a good toolkit, there's going to be contact management in there. There's going to be the ability to make quotes and invoices and to charge credit cards. And when you get more sophisticated, there's ways to organize your contacts and send email blasts. And you get more complicated, there's ways to output reports and create complex phone systems. And so we built this toolkit. We put all of these tools into this toolkit so that they could all connect together. It's really like a Swiss Army knife for the small business owner who can't afford to have a $100,000 integration job come and integrate a bunch of different tools. We just give you all the tools and then we set it up for you, teach you how to use it, and then you're in a position to scale after that.
That's awesome. I mean, essentially, you're doing payroll, you're doing merchant services, you're pretty much getting everything rolled into one. So far since you've launched this and done it, um, has it helped a lot of small businesses? Have you seen the return on the investment that you've made with this website that you've created, this software?
Yeah, like I would love I I love attaboys. Everybody loves a good pat on the back, right? Everybody loves a good attaboy. And so we get that a lot. We get things like, hey, Pete, thank God for you guys. It used to take me 40 minutes to make a quote. Now I can do it in 6.
Wow.
Or thank you for sorting out 25 years of consumer data that was in 10 different spreadsheets in 100 different formats and making that usable again. And so it really is the difference between a business that is functioning and a business that is not. I mean, take that example of taking you're into banking. What is 6 minutes from 40 minutes? That's a big difference. And now you multiply that across 10 salespeople. Think about how much time you're recovering. And you're taking people off of busy work and you're getting them on to at least being capable to either go home and spend time with their families or spend a little bit more time on something more productive than just making little quotes for people.
Yeah, the hardest part about my job is trying to get these people on the line when I'm speaking to them because they can't stay on the line long. They usually reach out to you when
Right.
they need something because they're constantly working, they're constantly busy, they're trying to, finagle with systems and trying to get stuff that works for them. So I 100% understand what you're supplying to these small business owners, which I think is great, but you're in the perfect city to do that. If you're dealing with companies in New York and New Jersey, I mean,
Right.
you're right there. You can't get any better than that with because there's thousands upon thousands of small business owners in the city. Even a guy who's a plumber still needs to be able to write invoices and
Mhm.
buy his materials, and he needs to do all that in a simple way. And what you're providing is it's helping him do that. Now,
Well,
go
it's
ahead.
about systems. It's about having systems, and the small business owners out there, they suffer from they want to do everything. The business is like it's like they were the land, and then they started a business. Now they're the volcano, and they're everything now. And their employees are just there on the sides of the volcano almost. And the business owner thinks that they're just extensions of they're basically more like assistants to the entrepreneur, to the founder. And what we try to get the business owners to recognize that they don't is that the business is much more than just them. The business owner, that the business is a bunch of systems. And if the business can think about what systems they need and how customers are supposed to flow from A to B and B to C and all the way down to Z, if we can get that flow just perfect, where every step is just really refined, now you can start to scale up and now you could start to stack more customers on and more customers because now you have the perfect set of processes. And that's what we do.
So have you I know you're in New York and New Jersey. Have you expanded out to places where technology is big, like in a lot of business, like California? Let's say California, for example, they're massive state, a lot of technology in that state, a lot of, from financing to, you have Amazon, you have a lot of these other companies that are out there as well. Have you expanded out towards that way yet, or is your base still on the East Coast, predominantly New York and New Jersey?
Well, I've been fortunate to meet people from all over the country, Canada, including Australia, for example. We have some clients in Texas, we have some clients in Florida, and each region kind of has its own flavor of how they do business, personality. I mean, it's a big country, and the fact that we all happen to speak the same language is just a fluke of history. And so there's different cultures out there. I love visiting my clients in Texas because I eat really well when I go there. But I also love coming back to New Jersey because I just eat really well differently, I suppose. But what I've noticed is that up here in the Northeast, there's a lot of people. It's very dense up here, and so yeah, I like to observe everywhere I go. And when you go down to Texas, you go down to Florida, there's a lot of space, and so people start to relax a little bit more. They start to take up more space. They take up more space in their words. They take up more space, physically. They're just more calm. But when you come up to the Northeast, it's fast, fast, fast because everybody's kind of bumping into each other, and the heat rises and the anxiety rises, and so you're dealing with people on sort of a different mental plane up here, and so you have to be ready to deal with that when you're traveling and doing business in different areas.
So I learned that the hard way. So I was originally born and raised in New York City. Okay. And then
Okay.
when I moved to Ohio, I had to learn how to adjust. Uh, you know, Fast talkers. We're fast talkers from the East Coast. We talk fast, but
Yeah.
Ohio, I had to learn how to slow down a little bit. And then now living in the South, forget about it. You have to really slow down when you're talking to these people. Not as in they can't they can't keep up with the conversation. Slow down as they want to have a conversation with you.
Right.
You'll get to business. They just want to have a conversation because they want to feel out what type of person you are. If they want to see if you're there to actually help them or if you're there just to get something from them. And they
Right.
will they will fill you out. You're in Texas. They don't get any deeper south than that.
Right.
They will fill you out to see what kind of person you are and what kind of business that you are running. Have you run into any pain points with this particular business that you're doing right now? Have you run into any struggles with the business where it's been, in some points has been difficult times than others?
Well, I'd say this: if you ask that question of any business owner, entrepreneur, and they say that they haven't run into struggles, then you've got somebody that's really pulling your leg. Then, because yeah, struggle is the middle name. It should instead of ending your company with LLC, it should be just ending the company name with the word struggle. Like that's what being a business owner is. And so, for us. Um, yeah, you name it. You encounter. We're a technology platform, and so we're at the cutting edge of learning what's going to work. You think you know a technology solution, and then you have to implement it, and then you have to figure out, okay, well, you've implemented this, and so now you have to refine it. But you thought it was going to. It technically works, but it's like a little unstable. So you have to patch it up here and you have to patch it up there. And so there's what I've had to learn is that there's this constant evolving process. I had to learn two things in terms of developing technology: that it's good that you can't build an engine that's meant for like a motorcycle and expect to just grow it to be a Ferrari or a B-52 bomber. But if you are planning to build that B-52 bomber, then you have to recognize that it's gonna be ideation and iteration. And so you build the prototype, and then you're adding onto it, and you're adding onto it. And you're gonna have to accept that there's gonna be bugs, and there's gonna be things that you're just gonna have to work out. And you need to just take a breather, because now that's the name of the game, and the clients might not appreciate that. So you have to make sure that the clients are at ease, because they don't want to take the time to understand, well, that's the nature of this business. When you're rolling out features 100 miles an hour because you're a new platform, and you're just like, new feature, new feature, new feature, you have to be ready to accept that. um, with that comes this idea that you're gonna have to fix certain things, and you might wake up the next morning. There's no point in being stressed out, because something going wrong is the name of the game, and you just have to be ready to fix it calmly, get to the source of the problem, and then move on.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because in both our lines of work, customers don't care about any of that stuff. They
Right.
just want it to work. They don't
Right.
care how you get there. They don't care. They don't care how you make the cake. They just want it to taste good. So I run into that a lot where, technology this, technology that, why can't do this, why can't do that. When you have new things rolling out, like you said, there's going to be bugs. There's going to be things that need to get worked out. Systems might run a little bit slow until things are, adapted, or, new patches are put into the system to help fix it. And I think this is where we have to strike a balance between technology and the small business owners. We have to find that balance because they don't care at the end of the day. They just want it to work so they can run their business and be less stressed than what they are already. They're already having to deal with their own customer base. They're already having
Right.
to deal with their, angry customers or supply chain issues and things like that. So, if the technology is not working the way it should, then it creates more of a headache for them.
Yeah, and one of the coolest analogies that I ever heard, and maybe this is about marketing, maybe it's about technology, is that clients don't really care about having a drill. They just want a hole in the wall. And so don't sell the drill, sell the hole in the wall. And so if the hole in the wall isn't big enough, or if it's too big, or if it's at the wrong angle or in the wrong place, the client doesn't really care. When you start to point at the drill, something's wrong with the hole in the wall. And so, yeah, that's what we were thinking about every single day.
Yeah, and it's true though, because at the end of the day, you're not selling your business. What you're doing is selling yourself. Your
Mhm.
business is going to sell. You're going to be able to sell to people, and that's one of the biggest things I've learned in this business is you sell yourself first. You don't sell the product. The product is going to sell if you sell yourself because you're the one who's presenting the product. They don't know what that product is. You can tell them that product works, a million times this way, a million times that way. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But if you're coming at them the wrong way and they perceive it to be the wrong way, you can have the greatest product in the world. It's not going to sell.
Right.
So from what you're saying, I see you're selling yourself to these customers. You're showing them that, hey, listen, I'm the guy who can provide this for you. This is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I've grown. This is my child, essentially, that I've birthed, and I want to get it out there to the world so it can grow to be healthy and it can continue to share. So for you, is this something that you have to work on the daily because not every customer is the same? So do you adapt when you have conversations with new clients about selling yourself to them and not just the product?
Well, what I say is that even if you had two pizzerias that are on the same block in the same town selling pizza, their business operations are going to be different. They're going to run their business different. They're going to want different kinds of things. Maybe one guy sells with pepperoni, maybe another guy doesn't. Maybe one guy sells grandma pies and the other guy doesn't. But maybe a guy has this kind of oven, or maybe they don't. And so every business, even if you're in the same industry, you have to be ready to adapt. And it's about meeting people where they are, right? And that was a hard lesson that I had to learn early on. Was I and I was lucky for learning this lesson, whether it was the hard way, the easy way, or I forget which way I learned it, but I learned this lesson, which was you have to meet people where they are, and you can't just try to sell them what you want to sell them. You need to sell them what they want.
Yeah, and for you moving forward, what is the ultimate goal for the company though? What are your aspirations? Because we all have it. I know you want to help small businesses, but there has to be something bigger for you down the field. What is it that you're looking? What is the biggest aspiration? What are you looking to do with this company long term?
Well, I really want to feel that we're doing empowerment. I want to get to a point where, and I don't have a number on this right now, but I want to feel that Segwik is not just a tool for playing business, and that it's a real tool for empowerment. And so, in fact, we have some people, not to jump off into a tangent, but we have some representatives talking to the Chamber of Commerce of Kenya right now, talking with how do we empower people in Africa who need to decide between entrepreneurship or starving, where it was maybe just a fun decision for me. They're deciding either my family is going to starve or I'm going to figure out how to sell my services. And so we're talking about empowering people, because giving people these tools is not just giving them a convenience. Sometimes it's really a matter of feeding a family. And so I know that these tools in the right hands can make all the difference. And so my ultimate goal is to feel that I've delivered good in this world, that I've empowered people who want to have that power, and just facilitated people having a better life.
See, and that's it. Changing lives is the biggest thing for me. Is what you're trying to do. You can change one person's life, and it makes all the difference in the world. You've accomplished something. You're doing things on a grander scale, which I admire. I appreciate. You're trying to change how people handle themselves, so they don't have to feel like they're alone. Because some people feel like they have to do everything themselves. The people don't like to rely on other people because they feel that their parents did it on their own, so I want to do the same thing. But people don't realize there's help out there. You just have to find it, and you have to want to learn what they're offering you, because you could put the system in front of them, but they have to learn how to maneuver it. They need to learn how to use it, and some folks don't want to do that either. So how do you get over that hump as well? Because the technology can be great, but is getting the person to use the technology correctly is what I feel sometimes is the biggest hurdle when it comes to small business owners, because they always say, I don't have the time.
Well, there's in marketing, one of my best advisors, and I'm going to maybe misquote him, is that there's people that are unaware, they're problem unaware, and then they're problem aware, or they're ready to buy. And so, y- from a marketing perspective, it's really tough to meet to reach the people that are problem unaware. And even though you know that you can help them, you want to get them your product, they're not even out there looking for your product. And so you just have to take them off of your radar almost. There's almost nothing you could do to reach those people. And so you have to really try to reach the people that are problem aware, and so that you can make them understand that you have a great solution for them. And then it's about building likeness and trust, because that's where people buy from. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And so we hope that by coming out here onto podcasts like yours and reaching an audience like yours, that people will see that there is a local business that understands what they're going through, that has really amazing solutions for them that they can afford, and that we believe in them, and that we see in them the image of where they want to be, whereas maybe the people around them don't always see that. Maybe they have employees and staff, and you have this business owner with this big vision, and they're almost an island amongst their peers in their business, because only the entrepreneur who is taking on all that risk really understands what it's like to have this dream of where you want to be. And so we want to be a haven for those people. Come to Segwik, come meet us, come talk to us. You're going to find hope. You're going to find your future in us. And so that's who we want to meet.
So, and I can understand that 110%, because to me, I'm my client's biggest fan. And it's not, I'm not blowing smoke. I get excited for these clients. You know why? Because they're taking a step that most people can't. They're doing things that most people are either can't do or afraid to do, and they're doing it. So I want to see all my clients successful, period. Even if you're a dog groomer, or you have a chimney sweeping business, I want to see you grow. I want to see you grow as a company, because you're the one putting in the hard work, and you're the one, putting the 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week into the business to make it as successful as you can. So I 100% agree with you when it comes to that. We want to make the businesses feel like they matter, because they do at the end of the day. And I think that's what grows like a business like yours, because you're showing them that you care, that you care, you actually want their business to be successful. And that creates word of mouth too. So I mean, the platforms that you go on, podcast is great, but sometimes word of mouth is some of the biggest generator of revenue and income for a business, because they're saying, "Hey, I just had a successful meeting with this business here. You might want to go to him because they can help you set this up." So creates a chain reaction for you, which I think in the long run is going to be it'll be great.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for this opportunity to reach your audience, to make our thoughts heard. And like I said, we just want to go out there and make a difference in the world, and just empower those who want it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful too, because your technology might be too good where you're gonna have one of these big major corporations want to come in and buy it from you, and put you out of put you out of business. So you're not giving them competition, and I've seen it happen. So
Sure.
I mean, but this is your baby. You continue to grow it. And listen, I want you to be as big as possible with this. I want you to help as many small business owners as you can, because at the end of the day, it's about independence. People want to be independent. They don't want to be in the system anymore. They want to break free, like you said. We said earlier, they want to break free, but they have to have the tools in front of them to be able to do that.
Entrepreneurialism in this country is truly the only. I mean, I don't do real estate, so a lot of people say, well, real estate is a great way to go. That's probably true. My thing is business, and my thing is empowering people, because I understand that a person who owns a business, they get all of the tax breaks, they get everything in this country is slated towards business ownership, and everything is against the employee. And so if we could figure out a system where we can empower more entrepreneurs to create more businesses, they're going to create more wealth for their family, they're going to create more wealth for their community, and it's just going to be a better world for it.
So for you, do you teach? Do you have any workshops besides what you do about the website? Do you have workshops that you hold to let people know more about what you do? Are there seminars that you volunteer to do to help spread the word about the technology that you have?
Yeah, the so we have launched, and we still need to publish some of this on our website. Uh Free seminars that we're hosting Tuesday afternoons. Well, I'll share that information with you after this recording, but it's something that we need to start doing more often, because giving away information is really one of the best ways that we can just engender that trust that we're looking for. And so I'll definitely share that information with you.
Awesome, awesome. So where can people find you? Let the audience know your plugs. Where can they find you? What the website is? How can they contact you? And if you have any social media sites that they can reach you at as well.
Well, I would say, just if this is a message that resonates with you, if you're a hardworking business owner that wants to squeeze more profit out of your business, and have a better life, and grow, and have less friction, have your customers be happier, have your staff be happier, just visit segwik.com, segwik.com. You'll find all of our social there. You can find me on LinkedIn. Again, my name's Pete Romano, Romano. I'm right there on LinkedIn. You'll see this bald head. You'll recognize me right there. Wearing a jacket on that, so maybe it might be a little misleading, but sure, hit me up. There's a calendar booker book time on our calendar, and we would love to talk to anybody out there that feels this mission of empowerment and has that entrepreneurial spasm.
So, Pete, I love the energy. I love the energy. I love the passion you have for small business owners, because, like I said, I deal with it every day, and you can tell the real from the fake. And your energy is infectious. It gets me excited when I talk to my business owners as well, because
Woo!
I want to see them do well. So, I'm going to leave you with what I leave everyone with. No matter what anybody tells you, if you found your purpose, live it. Thanks again, Pete, for coming on the show. We'll talk to you guys later.